It's a historic election in the UK.
Labour landslide.
The ruling Conservative Party have stumped to their biggest loss in its near 200-year history. And so what we're seeing here is a big repudiation of the status quo by the British electorate, who've turned against the Tories, who they feel have done a bad job in running the country. The conservatism in Great Britain really did go off the rails in the last 5 years. I've been doing this job for 5 years, and this is the 5th Prime Minister I'm writing about. This level of churn is unheard of in the UK, and I think many voters simply got sick of that. The Conservative Party instigated Brexit. It then went down a sort of populism track with Boris Johnson. It then embarked on an experiment in tax cuts, unfunded tax cuts, which spooked the markets under Liz Truss. And then it went back towards a more technocratic bend under its latest Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. And in the end, all that chopping and changing, all that chaos, people had enough. So the interesting thing in the UK is that we're seeing voters turn towards a centre-left party. They're not going for a radical right, they're not going for a populist. They're turning towards a man called Keir Starmer, who is set to become Prime Minister on the back of a pragmatic, progressive, anti-populist campaign. So this is very different to what we're seeing in France, for example, or even actually in the US with the rise of Trump. Keir Starmer is very much running on a continuity message. He's saying, I want to continue foreign policy as it was under the Tories, which is to keep that special relationship with the US alive. He isn't going to turn his back on NATO. He isn't going to turn his back on Ukraine. So we're not expecting massive change on that front. One of the things that really has marked this election and actually contributed to the Tory party's demise was the arrival of a populist politician called Nigel Farage, who is a Trump-backing Brexit cheerleader. And the result for the Tory party has been devastating. Farage has siphoned millions of votes from the Tories. And Farage's message, which seems to have resonated with a segment of the population, is that really immigration's out of control and that politics, as it is right now, doesn't work. And that has really sent a very strong message. We've seen the economic impacts of the war in Ukraine, the pandemic are all feeding through into people's lives, and people are increasingly desperate that their politicians actually start providing stability and some sort of economic growth. So we're seeing across the West people looking for change, and it's a very difficult offer for government. So while Britain at the moment has decided to back a traditional centrist progressive party, if that party doesn't deliver, which it may not, then Britain could easily turn to a more radical solution in 5 years' time.